What caused the turnaround from the first quarter? You got 15 early in the second, and then a total juxtaposition.
I think turnovers, and I was very careless tonight with the ball. A couple unforced turnovers, and them boys, they shot the heck out of the ball, especially from deep.
Demoralizing as a team when they hit a franchise number of threes today. Is it demoralizing in that case?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them was contested, and some of them was they shooting them in transition 104s, and we just got to do a better job. We got to have a little bit more sense of urgency, but don't discredit what they did to us. They beat us pretty good.
Bro, I think you guys been through this before. I mean, a little out fashion on the other end, but tonight it seemed like it was different. The Detroit Pistons team is trying to find their way. Fans booing. Was there anything different about this game?
No, loss is a loss, man. And tonight, no matter who you're gonna play against, like I continue to say, everyone wants to play us, and everyone's gonna get up to play us now. So, we start understanding that. We have a better understanding once we go out on the floor.
You probably got games when it was starting to be a double-digit deficit, and you fought and you battled. But when you have a game like this, maybe the last home game against Atlanta, you never really made that.
No, I mean, other than the first quarter, and it seems like when we take these losses, the first quarter we have a great first quarter, and then we kind of get a little lax or whatever the case may be, and teams just start putting it on us. So that was another case of that tonight.
LeBron, you think guys?
Rick and Bones, are you sensing frustration with the King already, or not?
No, I think he's been pretty clear about his belief that this was going to be a long process. He made that very clear up at the top of the season, what is a little confusing for me is, he's speaking of urgency, which I think those that have won championships understand the urgency that it takes to mount such a ride towards greatness. But you go a game removed back, a couple games back, and interviewed in the locker room same time after a win, though, he says, he was in chill mode tonight against Orlando, and someone woke him up. But, there is no chill mode for this team at any point, especially when he's the one that's actually setting the tone for the rest of his teammates. And if at any point he's feeling that it's okay to be in chill mode, then it would explain why, the rest of his teammates don't have the urgency that's needed in situations like that. A Detroit Piston team comes in, you think, this is a team that we can just roll over. We don't have to be in full out, all on, attentive, alert mode. Then you get beat. You get snuck up like this, and they create the momentum. Steve Kerr, I watched an interview the other night, and Steve Kerr, they got the win, and he was annoyed and pissed off. Why? Simply because he knows that you got to play 48 minutes, possession to possession. The alertness has to be, you have to develop those habits today to have them when you need them later on in the playoffs. And if you don't practice those habits now, Brent, they're not going to show up when you need them.
Yeah, I think there is some frustration. I mean, why wouldn't there be? The team has continued to make the same mistakes. I think that as a player and as a coaching staff, more importantly for the coaching staff, because they're making the calls there for Cleveland, is to watch your team do the same thing and make the same mistakes over and over. That's where you get frustrated. Derek Fisher is suffering that same frustration in New York, where a Knicks team can't close out in the fourth quarter. They've had plenty of opportunities to have probably 7 or 8 more wins on their record. They haven't been able to do that. LeBron James is asked, 5,000 questions a day about his basketball team, and he has to answer them the same way. At some point, that's got to stick in your head that we're not making the improvements. He knows they're going to take time, but they're not making the strides in a way where they're making new mistakes. They keep finding ways to make old mistakes, and that becomes frustrating as a player. LeBron needs to, the talk is this, LeBron needs to set the tone for this team. Just like Rick said, he has to play whatever minutes are on the floor. And I'm not saying LeBron isn't playing hard, but there are times when he has to go above and beyond for this basketball team to get that message across. Because once there's a let up on him in the rope, then the slack goes to other guys, and they are not, quite frankly, they're just not that good to beat teams that way yet. And their personnel is not that good to beat teams that way yet. So there's a lot of responsibility on that man's shoulders.
They don't have enough in the bank. You put good basketball momentum, you generate it by putting up performances and loading it in the bank.
18-12 are the Cavs right now. One time in NBA history, a champion has started 18-12. That was the 77-78 Washington Bullets. An ominous statistic for the Cavs, but it's just a statistic.